Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have an address by Mr. Adil Zainulbhai, Chairman Network 18. Here's a little bit about him. Adil Zainulbhai retired as a chairman of McKinsey India after 34 years at McKinsey and the last 10 in India. Prior to returning to India, he led the Washington office of McKinsey and founded the Minneapolis office. Over the last 10 years in India, Adil has worked directly with the CEOs and promoters of some of the major companies in India and globally, private companies, MNCs, and PSUs. Recently, Adil co-edited the book Reimagining India, which featured 60 authors, including prominent businessmen, academics, economists, authors, and journalists. So please put your hands together and welcome on stage Mr. Adil Zainulbhai.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me chat with you. I think this is supposed to be a chat rather than a presentation, but you've given my McKinsey backgrounds. I'll sneak in a few slides. It's always interesting to talk about longer term trends in an area that moves so fast that it's very difficult to think longer term, and that it moves so quickly that what worked in the past doesn't work in the future. I think many of you obviously know that in this world, you have to sort of, the short term, the medium term is a week from now, and the long term is often 3 months from now. And we've all used to come from, many of you have come from industries where in fact, people did long-term planning and, thought about yearly budgets and 5-year budgets and other things like that. And this is an area where things are changing so fast that I think it requires a different way of thinking about it. And I'm hopeful that many of you who are award winners today will in fact have thought about it before. So I'd just like to give you a couple of examples of that. Some of the big leaders in this space a few years ago, and we thought that they were indomitable. All of you have seen the cover of Forbes, which is also one of our magazines, talk about how indomitable Nokia was. And of course, today, they're trying to make a comeback, but the change has been so enormous in terms of where they are. And it only took a little bit of time for some of the people, I guess, maybe I wasn't here at last year's award ceremony, but I'm sure last year there were a set of people whom we were all talking about as being the darlings of digital media and were doing extraordinarily well. BuzzFeed, Mashable, and various others. I don't know if you've been following this, but many of them are facing big revenue pressure, and their valuations have gone down by 40, 50, 60, 70%. And that's just in a year from the time that they were flying very high. So I think we're still in an area where things are changing very rapidly, and I hope that many of the winners this year don't have the curse of, they always used to have this thing, which is if you are named CEO of the year in any industry, then the next year your company will do very badly. Right? So I hope that this doesn't befall any of you, but this industry moves so fast, you never know whether what worked last year is going to work this year. Literally in digital time, valuations of cryptocurrencies are going through the roof, and probably in the same amount of time, the valuations may go through the floor. Who knows? Right? And this is the area, this is the arena and that we are working in. It's with a little bit of trepidation when things change this fast that I'm going to talk about 3 trends which hopefully will last at least for 3 months. Okay? I'm not going to say that they will last for many years, but at least this is some of the things that we are seeing in this space that I'd just like to talk about for a few minutes. And the first one is bite-size content, which is really, really becoming very bite-sized. And I'm sure being in this industry, you've seen this study which some people believe and some people think is completely crazy, that basically said that humans have an attention span that is less than a goldfish, and that really we are getting to the point where our attention span is about 8 seconds. Okay? I don't know if this is quite true and what will come after a goldfish, and maybe next year we'll be down to 1 second. But I mean, for all those who created shows and all of us who are still creating shows for TV that are 23 minutes long or 1 hour long, and for those of people who are used to creating ads that are 30 seconds long, or videos that just a year ago we thought 3-minute videos is what people wanted to snack on digital media. Today, I think the attention span is so low that we are talking about 30-second videos, 15-second videos, 6-second lead-ins, and everyone's experimenting with that. And so I think you should time yourself also, which is when you're looking at your digital devices, what is your attention span? Has anyone watched 30 minutes at a time recently? Anyone watched an ad on your actually watched an ad on your digital device for more than 15 seconds before you say skip ad? Unless the content is extraordinarily gripping, the time in which you have to get people's attention is extraordinarily small. That I'd like to talk about is the advent of voice user interfaces and the advent of audio. A lot of interface with digital devices is moving away from touching it into voice audio. And I think if we look at that, people want to start, rather than play with it, people are using voice assistants, and everyone from Amazon, I don't know if any of you have the Amazon Echo in your house, or if you have some of the new devices that are starting to do that. But I think we will see a lot of that in India today, and we will see a lot of that in regional languages as they come. People like interaction-based consumption and voice-based ecosystem with Amazon's Alexa, Google Assistant, Apple Siri, and others. And I think in India, it will be even more interesting because we'll start seeing a very large proportion of user interface in regional languages and in other languages. I mean, you think about it, all the people in this room can read English and maybe another language pretty well. In a lot of the country today, access to the internet is more difficult because people don't know how to read, they don't know how to text properly in the right language, and they are not literate enough to do it. But once you give them the chance to actually do this by voice, actually they start using it a lot, and it becomes much easier. And just as we've seen the growth of regional media in news, in entertainment, I think we will see this on electronic devices, and we'll start seeing people use this a lot. But imagine now if you can link this not just with entertainment, but also allow a large proportion of people in rural areas to interact with their friends, with the government, to have access to government services, to have access to banking using only voice. Previously, they all depended on others to do this for them. But I think once we give people voice, they will start using this a lot. Even in our circles and even in the cities, I think we're going to see a lot more of multi-user interface using voice than we have seen in the past. And therefore, whatever you're working on in terms of digital marketing, we'll have to keep in mind that the way they would like to interface with their device will change. So if you're continually interfacing with your device without ever looking at it, then how do you how do you get your message across when people aren't even looking at the device, and everything that we're doing on it today is visual? And moving into a multi-touch point ecosystem. Most of us have multi-devices today. I think everybody in this room will have multiple digital devices. And the linkages between those is getting better and better, whether it is the watch and iPad and an iPhone, and or your desktop. We want all of them to be synchronized. We want all of them to work together, and we want something on them that is deeply, deeply personalized. We're seeing a lot of impact of both this personalization and making sure that everything that I use and every app that I use works flawlessly across all my touch points. So I just want to give you an example of how much people are customizing what you want. You're all used to seeing what happens on Netflix and Amazon when it gives you a customized recommendation. But I think one of the interesting things that we're seeing, that I saw was, in China, there is an entire, a very, very, very popular news site that has 74 million users, where the news is customized for 74 million users using AI. There is no editor customizing it. For you, each person, your news is customized for 74 million users. Every one of them sees a different set of stories and a different set of screens using their own AI devices. So when you get to this point where everything becomes a segment of one, in everything, not just in recommendations of buying books or by or records or TV shows, then how do you again deal with that in terms of the messages that you want to try to get across? I think these are still, the level of customization I'm talking about is still, I think, in the infancy. We are still discovering what can you do with this. But I think over the next 3 years, over the next year, or the next couple of years, hopefully this trend will last, we will get into such interesting personalization that maybe some of you will then say, listen, I just want a standard newspaper. Can I just read a standard newspaper rather than one that tries to anticipate my tastes? And can I just watch a standard TV show rather than having one that is customized for me? So reinforce the 3 or 4 things that I said. One is things are moving very fast. So whatever is a long-term trend is likely to be a short-term trend, and it'll change. So don't hold me to it. Second, that we are seeing lots of devices. We want everything to be personalized and come across all our devices. That our attention span is ridiculously short, and we have to get our messages across in 6 seconds. And that voice, the user interface will change, where voice will become much more important, and languages, regional languages, especially in India, will become much more important as voice UI takes over. So with that, thank you very much, and thank you for giving me more than 6 seconds of your attention.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your insights into the future of digital marketing. But ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for the awards ceremony. Let us have a look at the jury for the awards as we get ready to announce the winners. Presenting to you the hashtag DMA 2017 jury. The jury, as you can see, was chaired by Ashish Bhasin, Chairman and CEO, South Asia Denso Aegis Network. The jury members are Apala Lahiri-Shavan, President Midas Human Factors International; Atul Hegde, Co-founder Rainmaker Ventures; Preetam Datta, IT Business Partners, Consumer and Employee Tech, Unilever; Sanjay Tripathi, Co-founder and CEO, Agilio; Sadbir Singh, Founder and Chief Creative Officer, Thinkster; Saurabh Gupta, Principal Technology and Social Practice, Tata Strategic Management Group. Can I have a round of applause for all the jury members that we have today? Digital Marketeers Award presented by IAMAI and Moneycontrol. The first award for this evening is for the automobile category. I would like to call on stage Mr. Manish Maheshwari, CEO, Network 18 Digital.
It's Rahul Putsare from FCA India.
Next category is the healthcare category. And now I would request Mr. Sanjay Tripathi to please come on stage and give away this award.
The winner is Arvind from Kaya.
The next category is for the retail segment. And now I'll have to call upon stage Mr. Gautam Scheller, Business Head, Moneycontrol, to kindly give away the award.
And the winner is Pawan Sarna.
Moving on, the next category is FMCG and Consumer Durable. And to give away this award, I'd like to call on stage Mr. Ashish Bhasin.
Mr. Alok Agarwal, GSK Consumer Healthcare.
The next category is for the digital business. To give away this award, I'd like to call on stage Mr. Preetam Datta.
Happiest Mind Technologies, Kiran Bain.
The next category is the travel category. And to give away this award, I'd like to call on stage Mr. Saurabh Gupta.
And the winner is Anupama from Eurasia. For the category of banking, the winner is Rajat Mehta from Yes Bank.
The next category is the insurance category. And to give away this award, I'd like to call on stage Mr. Atul Hegde.
Darshana Shah, Aditya Birla Capital, Health Insurance.
So for the open categories,
And the winner for this category is Murugan Narayan Swamy for Jubilant Footballs.
Mr. Ashish Bhasin to please come on stage and give away the award for the most popular CMO.
Advait V. Sehdev of Infibeam. Winner of the most effective use of digital platforms for a social cause is Miss Priyanka Chopra.
Thank you so much everybody for coming here. A round of applause for the jury and all the entries.
Hi, Hi everyone, I am Achal Pathak and I am reporting from the Digital Marketer Award, which is hosted by Moneycontrol and IAMAI. These are the people who are making efforts to recognize stars in the digital marketing segment. So I have another star with me right now. It's Darshana Shah. So Darshana, first of all, tell me, what do you do?
So I had marketing for Aditya Birla Health Insurance.
Right. All right, Darshana, I really want to congratulate you. We see that you have a beautiful trophy over here. You won that for Digital Marketer of the Year for insurance. So tell me, Darshana, insurance is something that seems a little drab to young people, to millennials, and digital marketing is something that really appeals to them. So what strategies do you use to make something like insurance interesting for these people?
So great question. In fact, when we launched, and we are just a year old, the whole idea was that health insurance as a category is, like you said, buy and forget. It's not engaging at all. And we realized to talk to the millennials, the whole new digital generation, we have to be digitally, out there. So our entire organization is set on that platform, including one thing what we've changed is our purpose is not about just becoming a health insurance company, but is to create healthy, people. So the whole purpose is to create healthy India, and and health comes first. So keeping that in mind is where we create our entire digital content. And in fact, what we've created is completely out of the box. So this whole campaign where I won awards are for Jump for Health, where we said that if you jump twice in a day, you stay healthy. So a lot of these kind of campaigns where we are not just talking about insurance, but we are also talking about health first. This is where we also talk to a lot of millennials, and in fact that's also weaved in our product. So our product today, if you buy a health insurance and if you stay healthy, you get up to 30% cash back. So that's something which currently nobody is doing. So the whole idea of more and more engagement through digital content, product which also has something for staying healthy, which also talks to the millennials and younger audience, is where I think we are looking at this whole category to change.
All right, Darshana, that sounds really interesting. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Here with me, Pawan Sarda. So Pawan, tell me, what did you win an award for today?
This is for the retail category.
So digital marketing has really pervaded into the retail space, and you have a lot of people buying things online. You have apps coming up. So tell us, how do you try to keep things fresh?
Yeah, we are basically, our entire format is physical retail. So the way we use digital is more from online to offline. I think that's the most important thing. And so therefore it's not about just buying. Online is not about engaging with the customer and making them buy in online space. I think there's a huge number of people who are there in the space today. It's about how do you engage with them and utilize them for your own business. In our case, we ensure that it's online to offline.
Right. Pawan, thank you so much for joining me for this little chat of ours. Standing with me, Srinivas Jain from SBI. So, sir, first of all, congratulations on getting this award. And tell me, what did you win this award for?
Oh, I don't know. The jury gave us the award. But I guess it's not the award that matters. It's the work that we have done. We've been able to create a very large impact on the digital side. Our team has really worked hard in trying to create a big digital footprint for our brand and our products, and that's probably the reason we got the award. Yeah.
So, sir, fund management, this is not something that really appeals to a lot of millennials, one must say, and digital marketing is something that does appeal to them.
Absolutely.
So, how do you keep things interesting? How do you try to entice millennials into your, trap?
Well, fund management is a technical word, but the industry is mutual fund industry. So we are SBI Mutual Fund. Yeah, it's tough to get a product like mutual fund in the minds of millennials. So social media is one way where we've been able to interact with millennials. We have a fantastic social media team and an agency which helps us work on that, and we've been able to reach to millions of investors through that. And we've also had a phenomenal education program. We have a mascot called Fund Guru, which kind of desimplifies all the stuff that we do. And it's content, right? So we do a lot of digital content that we put out there. And more importantly, I think the millennials and youngsters really look at the whole experience when it comes to using a digital asset. And that's where we worked a lot. And I guess that's one of the reasons why we won the award.
Right, that sounds really interesting. So one question that I have to ask, the budget is just around the corner. Does your industry have any expectations from it?
Oh yes, we do. I think we formally every year make a list of it to the finance minister through our association, through our own parent company. We do a lot. And as usual, there are some SOPs that we expect, which will help increase penetration of the mutual fund industry, get more investors on board. There are certain things like tax breaks for retirement funds that we want. There's some nuanced tax products that we want. More than anything, I think we want an environment which will help more and more investors to come and buy mutual fund products. Right? You must have seen this new campaign that we run called Mutual Fund Sahi Hai. You must have seen that all over. And that's something that we've started, and I guess that will become bigger and bigger as you see.
Yeah? All right, sir. Thank you so much for joining me. Congratulations once again. With me, Rahul Pansare. Sir, first of all, tell me, where are you from and what did you win this award for?
Okay, so I'm from Mumbai and I work for FCA, and Jeep is one of our brands. And I've won this award for the Jeep Compass campaign that we did, the launch campaign.
Tell me, what according to you is the best platform for digital marketing?
I think best platform today is the social media. Plus, I think our own website, the own assets that we own, the brand owns, which is the website, your Twitter handles, your Facebook. I think the best use of those assets is what every marketer should look forward to.
Right. So one thing that I really need to ask you is that the budget is just around the corner, and are there any expectations from your industry regarding the budget?
So I think as every year you'll have the standard price hike that the industry experiences. Apart from that, I don't see anything. The Compass is getting tremendous response. We are doing fairly well. We've crossed 10,000 bookings already, and I don't see any problem with the budget or anything for the brand as such.
Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations, but also tell me, what did you win this award for?
Yeah, so thanks IAMAI and thanks Moneycontrol. I think I won this award in the travel category as a best digital marketer, and I would just not call it digital marketer, but as a company, what did we do in the digital space which really worked for the brand and for the business. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So tell me, travel is something that has witnessed a major digital disruption. You have online portals, you have apps. These days people have a lot to choose from. So what is your digital marketing? How do you sort of differentiate?
Yeah, so actually I'm in a very interesting category. So I work with AirAsia, so we are an airline company, and in the digital marketing we fight with OTAs, we fight with hotels, we fight with everyone actually. So our competition is huge. But what we realize is if there are certain benefits which are exclusive to our platform which no other OTAs can give, that becomes more of a product differentiator. So if we are really able to work on the product side, very much, it really then the game is better for us. Okay. Otherwise, if we just go very functional, then it's very difficult for us to fight in the digital space. So we really work on the product, this customer service, the experience, and that entire story build up. And then when we talk about this on any platform, and one of the focus platform for us has been digital. As a brand, we have been very aggressive on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube, and we are now slowly getting very into Instagram as well. That has really helped because travel is all about stories, from A to B. It's not about destination A to B, but what was so fun in that journey or in that destination. Yeah, so that story really helps us. Right. Yeah,
that sounds really interesting. But there is also one question that I really need to ask you. The budget is just around the corner.
Yeah.
So what are your industry's expectations from the budget?
So I would say there has been lot fundamental corrections done by the government, but what has happened also in that way is there is a lot of, it's still in flux. Okay, so like the GST, we have not been able to digest in terms of an airline has been very specific. It's a very intense business and a lot of part it has been affected. So we really, what we expect is more simplification from the government, from the budget. Okay, if things can be more simplified, I think it's easier for the business as well as anyone to kind of do their own job happily.
Right.
Yeah.
Anupama, thank you so much for joining us and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
You have a very interesting business, digital transformation. What exactly is that?
Well, we help companies to understand their problem statement and help to solve that using all the new technologies, be it AI, machine learning, maybe it's a digital marketing. It can be anything. It can be looking at the problem like how to create a digital platform, or like creating simple thing like how to make a marketing stack in terms of marketing technology stack. So it can be any of your problems. So what we used to do is like tell us your problem statement. We'll try to solve it using the digital way.
Right. So, sir, tell me one thing. The budget is just around the corner, and being in a business like a digital business, something completely new and out of the way, are there any industry expectations that you have from the budget?
Well, I think what is important for with the GST coming in, demonetization, there are a lot of negatives in the market currently. Like what we need to really do, how to make the India to do business simpler, like easier. Like I think the government has taken the target to take the ease up doing business India in the index. Can we really bring it below 50? That will be a great achievement. There are a lot of laws which becomes difficult for you to start. Like there is Startup India, but people have not got the benefit out of it. So what we need to now take is we have announced a lot of great initiative, how to really make it simpler, how to make the taxes simpler for people, how to make the filing is much more easier. What the basic problem with the GST is, people are really confused, what they need to do. And, the product pricing, for both for consumer side, for the merchant side, it's really difficult. And if you look at GST has gone through 5 changes. What I expect that, what can we do in the budget so that, it will help creating a big business climate. It will bring back the growth and probably our GDP will grow more than 7%.
Right. So thank you so much for your insights. Martin, tell us, what do you do?
Hi, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer and Chief Digital Officer of Aegon Life, which is a life insurance company here in India.
All right, so tell us something about digital payments. They were in the news for quite some time, right after demonetization, especially in India. So in a situation like this, they really helped. What can you tell us about that?
I mean, I use them myself a lot, but I think much more important from a sort of a macroeconomic point of view. I think India is obviously in a fantastic run economically. And I think digital payment is a leapfrog that India can make that offers a couple of benefits to the country, which is transparency in payments, which also unleashes an extremely valuable data. And I think there's a couple of companies, and of course the first one sprung to mind is Paytm, jumping in this field. And I think leadership in the world at the moment is still in China with Alipay, but I think India is close second, and I think India can take over China maybe in 3 to 5 years.
That's great to hear, and thank you so much for your insights, Martin. I have a very interesting personality in with me who has won a very interesting award. Advait Sehdev, please tell me what award you won.
So I won the most popular CMO award. And yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled about it. I think this event, this awards, the way the jury has worked, the way the voting has been done, it's very professional, very nice, and happy to be here.
All right, that sounds great, Advait. So tell me a little more about what you do and how did you become the most popular CMO?
Okay. So I work for Infibeam, which is an e-commerce technology platform. I take care of marketing. I head the marketing over there. Right. How did I become most popular? I'll have to ask friends. Probably we go out a lot, we party a lot, we enjoy a lot. I think that's probably why I'm popular. But I think it's more about in today's world, you have to be digitally connected to a lot of people also. And I think that's what I've been doing for quite some time. Yeah, probably that's the reason I've got this award.
That's really good to know, Advait. Thank you so much for joining us.